going to talk about the Pantry package potluck portfolio. So basically you're going to be doing a portfolio where you're using ingredients. We're going to have 5 ingredients. Each ingredient needs to be some kind of container. You can use anything you want. Doesn't have to normally go together. So the example they gave here was peaches and peas. Doesn't really matter. What you can't do is just have a standard package without any kind of fraction. So if it says 10 ounces or 20 ounces, you may need to change it. So we have a decimal or a fraction. So that's one requirement. Each ingredient needs a decimal or a fraction. If it isn't a decimal, then you need to change it to a fraction. So in the end, you need 5 ingredients with 5 fractions. It can be a fraction or it can be a mixed number. And then for the basic recipe, each ingredient is going to be one ingredient of itself. So you're going to use the whole thing. So we want these listed from smallest to largest. You're going to come up with some directions to how to put these ingredients together, what the serving size is. So they say to use 6 people here, so you're just going to take your total, divide it by 6 to get your servings. And then you're going to find, like I said, you're going to find the total, divide it by 6 to get the servings per person, or how much each one gets. And then at the end, you're going to double the recipe. Well, you're not going to double the recipe because that would be too much, so you need 3 halves. So you're going to take each ingredient and multiply it by 3 halves. So let's give you an example of how to do this. Alright, so here's where we're going to make our recipe. So I'm going to call this my bike mix. So what do I want in my bike mix? I'm going to have some almonds, some raisins, some chocolate, some Skittles, and some Cliff Bar. So here's where I come up with my package sizes. So I'm going to say my almonds was 8.5 ounces. My raisins are 9.25 ounces. Remember, these got to be from least to greatest. So my chocolate is 10.5 ounces. My Skittles will be 12 3/8 ounces. And my Cliff Bar will have 20.1/2 ounces. So make sure you have that for the next page. On the directions, I'm not too concerned about that. Just how do you want to combine these to make your recipe? So just however you want to do that. Alright, so next thing, it says total amount of ingredients. So I kind of grouped some of these. So I got the 20 5/8 or 10 5/8 plus the 12 3/8. Because 5/8 plus 3/8 would be 8/8, so that'd be 1. So 10 plus 12 is 22, plus 1 would be 23 there. And then I can group the 8.5 and 20.5. That'd be 28, plus 2 halves would be 29. So then I just need to add the 9.25 here. So I'm going to have 1/4. 9 plus 9 is 18, plus 3 is 21. So that'd be 61.25 ounces. And then the serving size per person, I'm going to take that 61.25 and divide it by 6. So remember, we do our keep, change, flip. I'm going to make that 61 1/4 into a mixed number. So 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 4 times 6 is 24, so that would be 245 over 4 times 6 becomes 1 over 6. So let's see if I can reduce this. Doesn't look like it. So we're going to do 245 times 1 would be 245. 4 times 6 is 24. So 24 will go into 245 one time, and then I'll show you the division here. 245 divided by 24 goes in one time. Subtract, you get 0. Bring down the 5, it goes into that 0 times. So you get 10 and 5/24 for my serving size. Alright, last step is going to be multiplying it by 3 halves. So I'm going to take my 8 1/2, make that an improper fraction. So 2 times 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17 over 2 times 3 over 2. Nothing I can reduce, so 17 times 3 would be 51. And 2 times 2 is 4. And then 4 will go into 51 12 times with 3 left over. So do the next one, 9 1/4. So 9 times 4 is 36, plus 1 is 37. Times 3 over 2. Again, nothing I can reduce. So 4 times 2 is 8. 37 times 3, 3 times 7 is 21. Carry the 2. 9 plus 2 is 11. So 111 over 8. 8 will go into 11 one time with 3 left over. 8 will go into 31 3 times with 7 left over. If you can't do the division in your head, that's okay. Hopefully I'm doing it correctly in my head. So same thing, 10 and 5/8. So 8 times 10 is 80, plus 5 is 85 over 8 times 3 over 2. Nothing I can reduce there again. 8 times 2 is 16. 85 times 3, that'd be 5, carry the 1. 24 plus 1 is 25. So 255 over 16. That one I definitely can't do in my head. So 255 divided by 16. Go in there once. Subtract. Get 95. 16 into 95. I think it will be 6 times. Let's check. So 6 times 6 is 36. Nope. It's going to be 5. 5 times 6 is 30. Carry the 3. 5 plus 3 is 80. Subtract, I get 15. So again, it's going to be 15 and 15/16. So I'm not going to show you the last two. You get the idea. Make them improper fractions. Then multiply by 3 over 2. Change your improper fraction back to a mixed number. So the directions here, you have a friend who's having some trouble with fractions. So he's trying to do what you just did. And so you're going to look at his work and trying to figure out what he did wrong. So let's take a look at some. Alright, and then step 4 here, I kind of skipped over the directions there. So you look at this, 2 2/5 plus 1/15. So he did 2 2/5 plus 1/15. So he changed it to 12/15. So he added 10 to his 2 and got 13/15. So you're going to choose, is he correct or not? and if he's not correct, you're going to correct it. Now these are the same for everyone, so I'm not going to show you actually how to correct these, but there are 4 problems for you to look at and figure out if it's right, say it's correct. If it's not, then you need to go ahead and make it correct. So if you have any questions or need any help, please let me know.